Bonjour. So today you are going to be watching the second video in the video series for asking for opinions, complimenting, and criticizing clothing. Yesterday you should have watched the video on asking for opinions. It was really short, about 6 minutes long. If you did not get a chance to watch it, it's the only other video here on the channel. It's got a pink background. You'll be able to find it. It's very simple to find. And again, it's about 6 minutes long, but this one is going to be all about complimenting people's clothing. So let's go ahead and get started. To compliment other people's clothing. Now I broke it down into 2 slides because there is a lot of information and a lot to remember, but we'll try and make it easy, we'll try and make it fun. So first thing here, I've got, like I said, the different ways to compliment people's clothing. In order for you to get the most out of this, the best thing for you to do is to repeat after me. What I would do is pause the video and repeat it as many times as you can, just so that you kind of get the feel for it and get the hang of it. Also, what I would do is at the end of the video, I would go back, start it over, and when I get to this page, I would pause it and I would quiz myself to see if I remember what each of the phrases mean. So, here's the first one here. Répétez. C'est parfait. C'est parfait. C'est parfait. Should be fairly obvious that c'est parfait is, it's perfect. So if somebody could come and ask me, comment tu trouves le jean? I could say, oh, c'est parfait. Ensuite, we have this one here. Now, I didn't break this down into 2 sentences like I did last night with one of the phrases that we used to ask for advice. So if you'll notice, we can make 2 different sentences using either ton or votre. Let's do the first one here. Répétez. C'est tout à fait ton style. C'est tout à fait ton style. C'est tout à fait ton style. Now let's try the other way. C'est tout à fait votre style. C'est tout à fait votre style. C'est tout à fait votre style. The only difference between these 2 sentences is when we use ton and when we use votre. Same thing, the ton is going to be like the te that we used yesterday, and the votre is going to be like the vous. So ton is going to be used for one person or someone we know very well, and votre can be used for more than one person or one person that we don't know well. Both of these sentences just mean that's so your style. C'est tout à fait ton style. C'est tout à fait votre style. The next one we have here, this can be broken down a couple of different ways. We have 2 different subjects, can be il or can be elle. Now these are going to be based on what type of clothing it is. So if it's a masculine pair of clothing, like le jean, we're going to use il. If it's a piece of feminine clothing, so maybe a belt, la ceinture, we'll use elle. We're going to go ahead and just use il for this, so that we can get this done quickly, but here's our te and our vous again here. Again, we're going to use te with one person that we know very well and vous with more than one person or one person that we don't know at all. We're going to use il, so répétez. Il te va très bien. Il te va très bien. Let's switch it up and use vous. Il vous va très bien. Il vous va très bien. We see we have our ellipsis dots here, so we're going to add the piece of clothing that looks really nice on us. That's all this means. Il te va très bien, elle vous va très bien, that whatever looks very nice on you. Last one on the page here. Again, we have the il and elle, il for masculine clothing, elle for feminine. But we don't have the te vous thing here. So all we have to remember is which one we'll use based on the clothing. So let's just use il again. Répétez. Il va très bien avec. Il va très bien avec. Il va très bien avec. And all this means is that whatever goes very well with this. So this is only going to be used when we know what we're speaking about with our friend, what we're complimenting them on. This is going to, tell them, oh, well, that you have on there goes really well with this, and we'll add a piece of clothing with it. So let's go on to the second page. Here's another way, or a couple other ways to compliment other people's clothing. Now, I know this looks like a lot, but remember, this first bullet up here is kind of the anchor sentence. This will start out all the sentences using these words. The words at the bottom here are just words we can plug in. We do have up here the le, la, lay. The le will be used for masculine clothing, la for feminine, and lay for plural, shoes, hats, shirts, whatever. Répétez. Je le trouve, je la trouve, je les trouve. Encore. Je le trouve, je la trouve, je les trouve. And all this is I think that, or I'm finding that, and then we'll add on one of these things here. The first one, répétez, très à la mode, très à la mode, très à la mode, and all it is it's really in style. We could say, je la trouve chic, chic, chic. And again, that's just really fashionable, really awesome, really high class. Très à la mode and chic, kind of, they really mean the same thing. We also have down here mignon and mignonne. Mignon, mignonne. Mignon, mignonne. And those just mean cute. Mignon with the one N is going to be for a masculine piece of clothing, and the two N's and an E is going to be feminine. Ensuite, répétez sensace, sensace, sensace. All it is just fantastic, sensational. It's just really, je la trouve sensace. It's perfect, sensational. The last one on our page we have is rétro. Rétro. All rétro is just vintage or retro. So it's really retro, really vintage. Remember, you can use these by plugging them into the first phrase we have up here, but you can also use them by themselves by just putting c'est in front of it. C'est très à la mode, c'est chic, c'est mignon, c'est sensace, c'est rétro. That's just making it is whatever. So, par exemple, now before we get to the par exemple, I do want to give you your mot mystère. Your mot mystère for this video that you must write down for me on your paper is Jean. Jean. Jean is the mot mystère, Jean. Make sure it's written on the sheet of paper that I gave you for homework. The next, so let's go back here. If I were looking at this person's outfit, let me show it to you here. If I were looking at their outfit, what are some ways I could compliment this sweater, since I'm telling you that I know this person very well? How could I compliment her sweater? So we could use c'est parfait. We could use c'est tout à fait ton style. Remember, we're going to use ton because we know her very well. We could say il te va très bien le pullover because we're talking about her sweater. Remember, we're going to use the te because we know her very well. We could say il va très bien avec les pantalons. So we're just basically telling her that what? Bien, that her pullover or her sweater goes really well with the pants. I could say je le trouve très à la mode. I'm finding it really in style, really fashionable. And I could also say c'est mignon. There's my example of putting c'est in front of one of those things. What I want you to do here, if you look underneath her picture, I gave you a little try it. So using the compliments that we have gone over, practice complimenting this woman's outfit. You can compliment her shoes, compliment her pantalon, compliment her hair, her bag, whatever the case may be. So what I would suggest doing is pausing the video because I am going to move on. Practice doing this out loud. All right, our last par exemple, we're looking at Brad Pitt's outfit. What are some ways that I could compliment the jacket since I don't really know him very well? Obviously. I could say c'est parfait. I could say c'est tout à fait votre style, and I'm using votre because I don't know him. I could say il vous va très bien le pullover. Now again, I made a little mistake. That should have been le blouson, but it still works. They're still masculine. It really looks good on him. I used vous because I don't know him well. I could say il va très bien avec les pantalons. So it goes well with the pants. Je le trouve chic. I used le because blouson is masculine, so it's le pullover. And I could also have said c'est rétro. It's retro, it's vintage. So again, at the bottom here, you have a try it using the compliments we've gone over. Practice complimenting Brad Pitt's outfit. Again, you don't know him very well, obviously. So we're going to use the ones for one person that we don't know well. I would suggest, again, pausing, stopping this video, going back through, repeating as many times as you can what you hear, and maybe quizzing yourself. Go to the first page or the next page, see if you can remember what each of the words and phrases are. But you must be ready to go with this for tomorrow. We are going to do an activity with it. Make sure you got your mommy stare written down, and I will see you tomorrow. À demain.